Haha.
Okay, we should be
It's
back now. So
hmm.
what we've done was got the audio working again. You can still hear me, Pepe?
I can still hear you.
Oh,
Lovely
wonderful.
and
I hope it stays
lovely
working
and
this
smooth.
time. We
Yeah,
switched the
yeah.
cameras over as well because the cameras also stopped working. So yay, cameras, audio, anything that can go wrong will go
Yeah.
wrong.
I was trying to find a picture, like a GIF of the TV Kiwi from way back in the day when there was technical difficulties on the TV station.
Oh yeah, yeah,
When
yeah.
like back in the day, and he was all like tangled in wires and stuff. That was awesome when I was a kid. I was so it was a magical moment of my childhood. Seeing that.
This is the same one as the Good Night Kiwi, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
TV Kiwi. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh wow, I can really see the downstairs. When you get like more bandwidth, you can actually make out the downstairs quite a lot better, right? Like
Yeah, it's
the
like if you just stand at the edge of our office, you can see like people going in and out of the pharmacy. So if you go in and out of the pharmacy while the bus factor's on, beware, people may find you. Um,
yes.
okay, so
There's
I
a
don't know if people know much about you, Mr. Pepe. I mean, some people definitely do. But you do Pepe's World? You do anything else? Like Pepe's World's pretty sweet. You should talk about Pepe's World.
Oh, oh yeah, yeah. I'm one of those guys that you know how like bands and stuff have got people that hang around the musicians all the time, but they don't
Groupies,
actually play
groupies.
anything themselves. Yeah,
Yeah.
groupies. Yeah, I'm basically a groupie. I've gone to like basically every single KiwiCon one, and I've never worked on security, but like I hack shit all the fucking time. Like yeah, I run Pepes World, which is like a show about me and failing at life and electronics a bit. But no, I'm just a general around hacker from like way back from like Christchurch days, phone hacking and the BBS and all that kind of shit. At the moment, I'm working on some shit making audio gear and all that kind of shit. But I'm basically like I just hang around hackers. I'm not really one.
I mean, yeah, but you got the attitude for it. I mean, like some of the stuff you built on Pepe's World is like, it may not be like security exploits, but it's still like really cool shit.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. It's kind of like because I thought that I've always thought that like hacking's not just limited to like security. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
hacking is like a broader scope than that. And like I've always been like into hacking and shit. But like when it like with security and stuff, it's all like like another buffer overflow VP.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. There's definitely a lot of the stuff that you deal with in security, especially working in it. It just ends up being the same old stuff. It's also really depressing to be like, yeah, like, hey, here's a bunch of bugs you should fix, and you come back a year later and there's like, here's the same bugs you should fix again.
Oh
So it's
yeah,
depressing as well. So it's yeah,
yeah,
building definitely has advantages to it, doesn't it? It's like you get
yeah.
like a final product and
Like
everything.
yeah, and because like what I quite got interested in at Kiwi kind of stuff was a lot of the I know it's kind of seems like a bit weird, but like a lot of when it deviated away from the PC a bit, and when
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
deviated away from software, yeah, that shit is fucking real interesting, eh? Like when they managed to open up the doors on like the big buildings, they're like, oh shit, I want to get through this door, but it's locked because it's not my building, and and they don't want me
mm-hmm.
in there. Oh, I know, I'll just blast GPS like signals at the door and trick it into thinking it's like 3 a.m.
Yeah,
7
yeah, yeah.
a.m. or whatever.
Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, there's a lot of
Mm.
cool stuff. Did you see
Yeah.
Ryan and Jeremy's talk where they have the capacitive touch thing? Do you know about that?
Oh yeah, that's right. And then they did it like from like a real long distance, eh? And
Yeah.
they're like, they had significant power.
Yeah, yeah. So they've been working on that for a while, and each time they improve it more and more. Last time I
Mm.
saw them present it, so for people who don't know, this is it triggers capacitive touch, but you can trigger it like through a wall potentially, or like through the other side of the door. So it's like if you have a capacitive touch sensor on one side of your door, and you can kind of like point something at it, yeah, it's probably going to be opened. They presented this last time I saw at Canberra for B-sides, and they were up to like they just taped a baking tray to the end of a wooden pole. Like that was their little antenna thingy. So yeah,
Oh my
it's
god!
pretty sweet at this point. Um,
Wow.
I don't know, pretty cool to use. Like if you're ever trying to get into a company, like to take that beast of a thing around and use it. No, it's cool stuff as well. Like I know when so I've always wanted to do hardware, but it's really hard, right? Software's easy.
It is. It is. It's in the name, eh? I was just thinking like when you said like a bacon tray and shit, like part of like fucking like it kind of ties in a bit with Pepe's word too, like how you never know like what could actually be like the most appropriate thing. Like I was trying to make this optical
Mhm.
sensor that had like a really narrow scope, is like almost telescopic. And
Yeah.
it turns out like if you get like a standard LED, right? You know, like your little dog penis LED.
Dog penis.
Well,
I've never had them described as that, but assuming it's a standard LED, I know what it is.
Yes. Or let's just let's just say little dog penis LED, and well, like white sensors, they come in the same package, like exactly the same package, dog package. But it turns out, if you want to have like a really pristine tunnel that can actually see it, and it's like, turns out just a drinking straw fits over that perfectly. So I'd spend months and months trying to like find like different. I was actually shoving pens on the end of it and everything like that because I just wanted a tube, basically. A tube. I wanted to stick my dog penis into a tube, and it turns out
you wanted it to be a nice snug fit as well. You didn't want a loose tube. You didn't want it too small.
Exactly.
You wanted a snug fit.
And it turns out a drinking straw is just absolutely perfect. Like there's even like a little like lip and everything. Yeah. So I like that side of things. Like you know, like the hobbyist merging of hacking and shit, because it's definitely there. Like, you know, like you go down to like ham radio clubs and shit like that. Like I haven't done that, but I've seen like these like video, or you know, these like clubs and shit where, you know, old timers go down there and shit. You know.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
Do
we have much ham radio in New Zealand? Like, because we have I'm sure we have a few, but like it feels like that's quite big in America, right?
Yeah. And everyone has their codes and shit, eh? I wouldn't mind getting into that, but I feel like it's a dying scene, eh? It's like with bulletin boards, eh? Like when I with the age I am, I just caught the end of it. And I met like one or two people from it, but then it started to die down when they invented the internet, eh?
Yeah, I mean, look, even IRC these days, like I spend a lot of time on IRC, and it's like kind of sad to see it like not be used as much anymore, and it's been like a long process, but same kind of thing. And I kind of group that in there with BBSs in terms of, you know, you go there, you meet people, and then it dies.
My first ever internet experience ever was using IRC through a BBS.
Oh wow!
This hard out guy. He ran a bulletin board. He had 2 phone lines, and he wrote the BBS software himself.
Yeah.
Just because he was, you know, cool like that. And and he was like, "Oh, you want to go on the internet? Want to go chat?" I was like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah." So and he just and he managed to pipe it through. I thought that was the most amazing thing. It was like this experience. It's like 13 or 14 or something. I didn't have the internet and all that, and here I was connected on the internet through this mysterious other computer somewhere, a person I've never met, you know. That was cool times, man. That was real cool times, eh? And like Fido mail and shit, and like when you're you know how like it was basically just relayed from BBS's phoning each other, and with the occasional toll call and stuff. And like a couple of days later, you'd get like a forum reply Australia or something like that. Like fucking wicked, eh? Like I used to love coming home from school, you know, like getting picked on and shit at school, and everyone like thinking I was a piece of shit. And then I was like, fuck you, you don't know what I've got at home, you know. And I'd go home after school and like check my Fido mail and stuff.
Go on
the
like internet. Got friends. I was reading a thread the other day about computer games, and people were talking about.
Have we gone dead again?
Oh my gosh! I heard that. Okay, so the stream people can hear me. Once again, let me just type them.
We've run out of SS23. Oh, Stephen, what's weird calling you that? I can't tell when you're talking now.
Yeah. Okay. So the stream can hear both of us. It looks like the Focusrite's dead. Well, 1 second. I'm gonna unplug the Focusrite. Yeah. You want me to hear me for a sec?
The goose we're going to hear.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh wait, no, isn't that a goose? Oh yeah, we need to go through the terminology. Oh, that's right.
Can you hear me now, Pepe? We're gonna restart the call. So in the meantime, you'll be able to hear me, but not Pepe. Sorry about this, folks. It was working good for a minute there. I heard like a little as it seemed to die somehow. But unfortunately, I'm not sure what Exit, stop, or start. Do, 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 do,
Hello?
do.
Is this
Hello.
20 this 23? Oh,
You can hear me?
oh, I can. Hello.
Wonderful.
Oh, I can I can
So
hear I can hear the Hangouts ringing though. There's like another voice call that's going in parallel.
I
Oh,
don't
fine.
have that.
Oh, no, no, because you were calling me again by accident. No, no, I'm good. I'm good. I can hear you. Wicked.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, it's okay. So it's all working. It's back to working now. If it, I can hear when it cuts out, like it makes a little
Oh, yeah.
noise. So I think it's almost certainly like this laptop not being able to run this many USB devices,
Oh, I
because
see.
the power draw is like pretty high with like 2 cameras and everything.
Oh, yeah, true. You know, like I heard for like a moment there, like because you might have just heard me laugh, because I actually heard like about like 20 SS23s all talking at once. And it was just like you'd like tuned into like all of these clones, and they all had like distinct different personalities. They're all basically you, but they all like slightly different in a certain particular way,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And there's different, and they all kind of like had like a different sort of general SS23 theme. Like one of them was working late SS23, and the other one was kicked from ISE SS23, and yeah, and there's just all these different variants. Yeah, just different forks basically.
Yeah, it's the same as S23. So someone was asking, do we have any red light runners? And I have been keeping an eye out, but I haven't seen
Oh,
any. Like I'm
oh
not.
yeah, that's right. The basic premise of the show, eh?
You do forget about it when you like get into conversation and you come back and you're like, oh wait, buses. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I did. I actually had something that I wanted to actually make sure I did get out.
Yep.
Like it was the about Auckland buses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because my mum actually, believe it or not, I am actually through me, you're actually associated with the genuine actual bus driver.
Ooh,
Like no shit.
yes. Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
a pretty close relation.
Yeah, so yeah, so I have basically like because the working situation of the Auckland bus drivers is shit. It's absolutely shit. Like you know, you think of like your classic, you know, like labor union sort of like fighting the man kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a shitty situation like that, and basically because there's all these competing companies, right, and they all kind of like bid the council. Oh, we want to be the bus service. No, 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 fuck off. He sucks. I want to be the bus service. You know,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
bid and they get the lowest, and the council's just like oh, I can pick from any boy I want, so I'm going to pick the one that gives me the cheapest buses. So,
Yeah.
and what happens is the way, and and they can't change anything. It's all set in stone, right? But the only thing that the bus companies can actually fuck with is the wages of the drivers. So the wages are like really shit, and the working conditions are really crap. Like. And I was getting my mum to sort of like executive summary it for me. And
Yeah.
basically, like the drivers, they basically get paid. Like for starters, that it's not consistent from driver to driver, right? So that's a problem in itself. But most of the time, they only get like $1 over minimum wage.
Yeah, it's pretty shitty, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, and because the lovely national government took away the requirement to give workers coffee breaks and shit, you know, like tea coffee breaks.
Oh,
Um,
really? They took that away?
yeah,
Damn.
by law, the government gave companies the right to not provide tea coffee breaks. So,
Yeah.
and the drivers work for 5.5 hours, then have a 30-minute break, and then they work for another 5.5 hours before
Yeah.
their next break. And there's no toilet breaks. And if you're a driver, you don't even get a toilet. So you have to just find the toilet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's
I mean, they do give you like a vehicle that can move from place to place, but it's sort of like fixed on the one route. It's
yeah.
a bus. So you know, if you've got a toilet along your bus route, then it's okay. But yeah, so you can imagine why that's like a problem and shit, you know.
Yeah,
Because
5.5 hours. Like I pee all the fucking time. Like especially because I drink a lot of Coke at work, which
oh yeah, I was just gonna say me as well. Like I mean, I was thinking about increasing my buffer size, but you know, like yeah, yeah, and it's real shit, and like, cause you know, and fucking like, cause my mum was exhausted all the fucking time, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, yeah, add this to like shift working and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
and to compound on that, they actually have to work like extremely long hours just to make ends meet. Because you know how like Auckland, like you know, if you're middle class, basically, like most of your money goes to rent, basically. You know, it's like that kind of situation.
In
So,
Auckland, especially, like it's almost all on rent, right?
mm. So like most of the time, she says it's normal for drivers to work between 50 and 60 hours every week, and my mum did that every
Yeah.
week. She was fucking buggered every week,
Yeah.
and I mean my mum just has like a place with like, what is it, like 2 bedrooms, a place with a fence and like a
Mhm.
decent house, right?
Yep,
Renting,
yep,
right? Not a fucking mansion or anything like that, but it was a decent home, right?
yeah.
What you might expect if you had like a kid or two kids or something like that.
Mhm.
Because she had like two little dogs and business staying with her and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she was working she was working 50, 60 hours a week as a bus driver, and all went on rent and fucking I mean, she was doing things like like saving dollar per dollar,
Yeah.
at the supermarket and all this kind of shit. And I'm thinking, this sucks, man. This really sucks. So you do the thing, like you have like your parents and all that kind of stuff like that, but like but it's just not right, eh? Like someone who has a full time job working that much in Auckland, it's just that's just terrible.
Yeah, no, it's really like minimum wage is it's not like the minimum to live, is it? If you are on minimum
No,
wage and you're working 40 hours a week, that's not enough to live. That's
mm,
less than you
yeah,
need to live, which
definitely.
yeah.
And okay, get this. All right, so there's no medical insurance, right?
Mhm, mhm.
And you know how you get if you go overtime, you get like paid time and a half and shit, right? It's not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
the case with this. You just get paid normal time.
yeah, yeah.
and 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 the bus drivers actually have responsibility for all of the passengers. So like if there's a crash or anything like that, it's your ass that gets on the line. So like
Wow.
yeah, so and you can like because you can go to jail,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to say nothing of losing your license and all that kind of shit. So it's like the bus drivers have got like all this sort of pressure on them, and they're working like real hard hours, and then and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, and then they go on strike, and then people are like, it's like shit, man.
Yeah, like one of the things I am almost always okay with the strike, right? Because no one is going to strike if their working conditions are fine. Like no one
Yeah,
sits there and is like, "Wow, I'm okay with this amount of money. I'm going to go on strike." No, if you're
mm,
striking, like things are bad. And if you think about the
yeah,
industries that strike, it's the industries where you get paid minimum wage or worse, where you get screwed out of hours, where you basically yeah, you're in a shitty
mm,
position. So
yeah,
I like personally have no problem with it. One
mm.
thing I think we've talked about on the show before is the way if you want to do professional driving, bus driving is just like the worst thing to do. It's the lowest paid with the
Mm.
shittiest hours with you have to deal with people all the time. Where
I
you could
know.
go do if you do truck
Mm,
driving, for example, like it's a shitty job, you're gonna die early, but at least you get some money out of it, right? Like
and you don't have to deal with people. You can like listen to your favorite radios
yeah,
podcasts about
yeah.
security and buses and shit on the way.
Yeah, go to a bathroom whenever you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah. You can listen to Risky Business. Um,
I'm telling you, as soon as. Okay, that thing happened. We're gonna have to restart the
what was
call
that?
again. Sorry,
Did
guys.
you hear that?
Can you hear me, Pepe? No, we can't. We're gonna restart the call. One sec. Sorry about this, guys. Any second now. The call with Pepe shall resume. Um, yeah, I think fixing this is gonna require like all my devices are going off. Fixing this is gonna require a new laptop. Okay,
Hey,
Pepe,
hey.
you there? You
Awesome.
good? You good? We can hear
Yes.
you. Okay.
Hello. Awesome. I can see track everything. Everything's awesome. Awesome. All right.
Yeah. So it
So
looks like when that
yeah.
happens, we just need to restart the Hangouts call so we can remember that
Awesome. We have a method.
we have a method.
Excellent. So
Um, yeah, we're talking about buses and the number one news and information security and bus related podcast in Australasia.
yes, yes, that's right. Yes, we
It
were.
just happened again. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But as far as like
You can't
content,
hear
oh yeah,
you.
I should probably actually. Oh no, I did say that. That my mum was actually a bus driver, and
He
yeah,
said it. He
so
said it.
connected through me. Like we're actually pretty high up in the world now.
We're
Um,
gonna have to restart the call.
I think it's kind of silent again, eh?
Oh, this is annoying. Hopefully it takes longer this time. I don't know. I don't know what causes it. I can't see. Maybe like a USB cable. It may be like USB over voltage or something. Who knows? We'll have to find out. Okay, here we are again.
Hello.
Okay. Sorry about that. I
Awesome.
don't. It was really quick that time, wasn't it? It just instantly did it.
It was. I mean, it was like as soon as we went on, it was like, and then it just bounced back up again. We didn't,
Wow, that's good. How are you playing that? What is that? Have you got like a soundboard in front of you? Oh,
a what?
it did it.
What do you mean?
It fucking did it. Ugh. If this happens again, I shall restart the audio interface because that might be causing it. Okay. Sorry, there we are. We are back again.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. The wong, 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 that thing.
Oh, dude, we've got a bus waiting in the middle of the intersection.
Where?
Ah.
Oh shit, we do. Oh, I didn't even notice. Now, here's the question: does that count as a red light? He waited for a green light, right? He waited in the middle of the intersection for it to go green, and then he went.
Yeah. Hey, that's right. I was gonna ask if we could go over the basic terminology.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. So we have the intersection here. It's kind of like a four-way intersection. Like oh, okay. So it did the thing again. I'm gonna restart the interface, and we will be right back, folks. I'm sorry. Okay, you should be able to hear me on the stream again now. And we could just resume the call with Pepe. Pepe. Okay, I can't hear you, but we will fix that in 1 second because I know how to fix that one because it happens all the time. There we are. I can hear you now. We caught you just in time for. You
awesome.
can hear me. Do you have a physical soundboard in front of you?
A what?
A physical, like a sound. How are you making the sounds?
Making sounds. Well, I'm just talking like a voice box.
Oh, we saw Hugh is on the chat. He's saying that he's like going on a boat. Look at that. That's almost a bus.
Whoa, a boat. Awesome.
Also, someone said they saw a red light runner. I'm going to bump the counter up. I have not been paying enough attention. We're going to bump that up to 2 because I assume we've had at least 2 at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's hope it lasts longer. Terminology.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So we got the standard 4-way intersection. The buses, generally speaking, will come either towards us or away from us. Oh, the bus is flashing his lights. This means we have a turner. So this is a live example of a turner. So see how that bus is like leaving a gap? And that is the turner coming past here.
Oh, a turner.
There we are. That is the turner. Awesome. So turners can hit into the walkers, which are the pedestrians that cross where the turner went. Now, the reason this is important is because a lot of those pedestrians only think the buses go straight there. They don't realize that turners exist. So they often almost get hit by turners. Those are walkers. Though we also have walkers going the other direction as well. And they're a good indicator that no buses are coming. You see walkers? Probably no buses. The other thing we have is cars. If a car is coming towards us, it is a bird. And if it tries to turn around the corner, then that is a goose. Yes, that's a goose. Yes. And if it goes straight, it's a duck. Now, we also have a mythical creature, which is if a bus coming for us, like coming towards us on the camera, tries to turn around that sharp corner, that is the mythical golden goose. A golden goose. And we've had multiple golden geeses on the show.
Yes.
And they are really good. No, I didn't see the bus run a red light. I'm sorry. I'm not paying enough attention. I was staring out there as well. There's a fire engine. A fire engine just went past in the bus lane as well. He is not much of a bus, is he?
Hmm.
I did see lights down there, so that might have been because there's a lot of traffic coming through now. There might have been a blockage from the fire engine because we see that kind of thing occasionally as well.
Oh, true.
Look, I'm going to bump the bus kind of go up at one more. Surely we've had at least 3 at this point.
I still have a story.
Okay.
A little story. It's not much of a story.
Share a story.
Well,
share
actually,
a story.
it's a cool story. It's just not very long. I mean,
Yeah, that's
okay. Yeah. See, my mum, while she was driving the bus on off Fanshawe Street in Auckland, and she was just sitting at the lights. So and like a group of just people, you know, just like party people or whatever, just
Party
you know,
people, okay.
young whippersnappers, you know, were just crossing the road in front of a bus, and then one guy broke off from the group and like ran really, really fast at the bus and jumped up and fully body slammed the bus.
What the fuck? Like, is these drunk people?
Yeah. And he hit the corner of the window and broke the driver's mirror.
Oh wow. Okay, so this wasn't just like a benign body slam either. This like hurt.
No,
like damn.
real hard at it. Yeah, and woke up and smashed it. And I hear, well, yeah, hit the corner and broke the driver's mirror. Stupid bastard. How's that for a dumbass? He jumped up so high, I was looking at him eyeball to eyeball. Ha ha ha. Bet he hurt the next day. Anyway, after he body slammed the bus, he kept on running.
Damn. Who has to pay for the damage to the bus? I presume not the driver.
Yeah, that's right. I actually have no idea.
Yeah. Is that a dinosaur I just heard?
I didn't hear anything.
That one was not easy to make out what it was. It could have been a fart, like a really interestingly sounded fart. So who knows? Yeah, kind of like that. So we do have some news actually, like information security news.
That's right.
So we could go over some of that.
Yes.
Now, unfortunately, I lost all my notes when we did a restart at some point. When it like
I still have all my shit up.
Yeah. So take us through. So we've kind of covered some. Oh, we haven't really covered bus news. I guess to start with, do you have any bus news? Like anything new in the world of buses?
I have really old bus news.
Like, is it news or is it just like bus stories?
February news.
Sure.
It was just about the Wellington attempt at getting the new buses, building the new buses, and they've hit like a roadblock because they're building the new buses, I guess, and because you know they've got like the contracts to build like the new buses and all that. They're like converting the buses, aren't they, to like electric?
So I don't know if it's a conversion. So someone sent me pictures just outside our office. There was I believe there's one electric bus at the moment, and it's painted a completely different color. We'd know it if we saw it go past. It's
It looks like a fucking rocket. It's got like a big thing on top of it and everything. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting looking. But I am not personally sure if that is a conversion or new. My guess would be it's new, but I am not actually sure. Because I know we got old buses down from Auckland and a few other places, I think. But yeah.
Well, it says Big Bus announced that it signed a $43 million deal to fit a large number of its 110 buses in Wellington and Auckland, including the capital's now retired 60 electric trolley buses with right-speed motors, which operate mostly on rechargeable electric batteries. Oh, so it is a conversion.
Oh, okay. So I guess there's a conversion going on as well.
The project has run into various problems, and Entered Bus admitted late last year it was exploring alternatives to the right-speed technology after the first gearbox was deemed not suitable for the prototype. So just engineering problems, and it's going on about like committees and all that kind of shit, and people in an office on a round table.
Yeah. So in that case, someone just pointed out another red light runner, which I also didn't see. Although I was kind of staring out there. I'm just not paying enough attention today.
This is why it's good to have the stream and other people in the chat.
Yeah, to look out for us. Yeah. Oh, it's going red, and I don't believe there's any red light. Yeah, we got walkers. So that's where I can look and see walkers and say probably not gonna happen. I mean, if they're having problems, though, maybe they won't end up replacing them. Won't end up retrofitting them. Maybe they'll end up doing something different instead. Like, because
in the meantime, you've got some diesel buses, which is nice and eco.
I know, right? Yeah. They're like, let's get rid of the trolley buses and replace them with diesel. And then
I love the trolley buses. I love them. Like it was cool. It's character and everything.
They're all gone now. They are all gone. Though Hugh did send me a picture of where he was. I think he might be in Greece at the moment. I am not sure.
Whoa.
Of a trolley bus. There was a trolley bus that he showed me a picture of. So we got rid of them. Not everywhere in the world, though. Some places do have trolley buses.
Oh, they have them in. Oh no, San Francisco's got thingy. I always think of San Francisco. Oh, I was just a little tidbit of information that just popped by. Microsoft is now bigger than Alphabet.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, I
Huh.
love keeping an eye on like what's the biggest companies and shit. Like
Yeah. Apple's
Pepes on it.
bigger than Microsoft, though, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Yeah, because Apple's bigger than. Oh wait, hang on. No, Apple was the biggest, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Apple's been bigger than Microsoft for a wee while now.
yeah.
It's because Microsoft's been getting into cloud shit.
Oh, yeah,
Amazon's
with
still
Azure
bigger.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Microsoft still trails behind Apple's market valuation of 923 billion, and Apple's 700 billion. So Apple's bigger than Amazon.
Yeah. Such
Um,
big numbers to deal with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we have.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have.
you-
Speaking of Microsoft, we can segue into some Microsoft news.
All right.
They
You look like you're about to speak about some Microsoft. Do you want to have a Microsoft assistant pop up, or would you like to? Oh, sorry, I'll let you go. That was a terrible joke.
Oh no, it's a good joke. Apple tops the chart, Amazon 2, Microsoft 3. Yeah. So no more trolley buses. But Microsoft, and I didn't know they did this. It looks like they do vulnerability research of some kind. They found a bug in Git. So I know we talked before the show was on. You don't really use Git that much, so I'll explain it for the viewers as well, listeners rather. Oh, viewers, listeners. Git submodules, which if anyone's worked with Git submodules before, they're very scary and don't work very well. But the gist is, if you commit like in your base repository, you can't like specify files inside the .git, right? Because the .git is like the metadata. Oh my god, there's a red light running right here. Oh, there, I saw one finally. Number one.
Oh shit! I was busy typing into the chat box. I was trying to do some tagging.
No, it's okay. It's okay, but you missed it. Little bus count. Let's bump that counter up. What was I saying? They found a bug.
No, the Git. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, get. They found a bug where if it's a submodule and you like commit this submodule, so you don't just commit the submodule as a reference to a submodule, you commit the files of the submodule into the main repository, and it looked like it took some trickery. You can include files in the .git directory, which include things like post hooks, right? So the idea is, if you run a git clone recursive, it would clone the base repository, see that the submodule already exists, and just try and do a git fetch, which triggers a post hook, which gives you RCE. So if you're using Git and you're recursively cloning remote repositories with an old version, you can be hacked. But I didn't know Microsoft did that kind of vulnerability research.
Microsoft have had like a huge R&D division for years. They've always been big on R&D, which always kind of bothered me. Like they've always done amazing research.
Yeah, they do a
think,
lot.
oh wow, this shit's awesome. And then you see the products they put out, and it's just like
you're just trying to find out ways you can use all those sounds now, aren't you?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
No, they do. Like if you, they have so much like vision research. A lot of like VR stuff. It's all cool stuff. But then you look at what they put out, and they also, one thing I don't like about them is they tend to buy up a lot of companies, and then not really do anything with them, or like not anything good at least. I mean, Oracle as well buys out a lot of companies, but when Oracle buys out a company, they destroy it. They run it to the ground.
Yeah, that's true. Like, before that, everyone thought Java was awesome. And now you look around, it's just like everyone's using spaces to indent their functions and shit, and it's just a shit show. And now the ecosystem's falling to the ground. Actually, I don't know what it's like because I don't have a job. I don't know. But every time I see like language statistics and stuff, Java is always up there. But I've never seen anyone say anything nice about it.
Yeah. I think it is one of those things because I haven't really worked with Java much professionally as well. I worked with it briefly at one of my jobs, like in combination with some of the other languages. I think it has like a big corporate thing, like IBM, for example. IBM uses Java. I'm guessing it's something like that. Speaking of Java, one thing we didn't mention before the show, someone says Nokia as well. I'm guessing Nokia uses Java.
Oh, Java ME for the games, Snake and shit.
Yeah, they don't seem that popular. I guess Android's all Java though, isn't it? So
Yes.
there's
Oh,
also
yeah,
that.
true. Of course. Yeah.
Um, uh, did you see that they're going to remove unserialized from Java, or at least
Yeah.
change it a
Yeah.
little bit?
I haven't seen any of the details. I actually saw you say that.
Yeah. Well, I saw it and I posted it, and because I was like, huh, interesting. I know it's a conversation that some of the PHP developers have been having for a while, where they, look, we got a goosey woosey down there. You see him, little goose?
Oh! I was just looking down at my my nothing. Oh.
Well, you'll be able to see him go as he swings around the corner.
Oh.
But there he's gone around now. Look at him. Tight corner, tight for buses to go around. What was I saying? Yeah, the PHP devs have been talking about it for a while, trying to get rid of the unserialized function because it's a security risk. To let users unserialize things is a security risk. And if you go to like the PHP unserialized page, it's like, do not let users pass data into this. And every time someone does, Java's pretty much the same, right? It's like, don't pass user data into this, and people always do. So it's like a reasonable mitigation, I think, to just remove it.
I used it for my keys, believe it or not. I know that sounds sounds like really dodgy right now, but the user doesn't make any of those, and they don't have any access to the content or anything like that.
Yeah, you just
actually, no,
store
maybe
them
they could
somewhere.
have. No. Actually, I tell a lie because yeah, it was for my remote control mouse keyboard app, and I just realized shit. I probably actually because one end of it is on a PC and it just deserializes the code. But I think I can't remember if I actually handcrafted my own deserialize or not. I just created an object with the key value. I probably did.
I mean, the other thing is like there are alternatives that don't carry the same security risks. Like if you're trying to pass data around, like a key or anything like that,
JSON and shit. It's just
exactly. And that way you bypass all the security issues. I mean,
yeah, it seems like I mean, it seems like because it's one of those paradigm problem things because like it's like, oh, I want to unserialize my object. Oh, I want to deserialize it again. It's like okay, mate. Well, your object is going to have references to to other shit. It's like, well, what about when you it's like you're going to be serializing. What are you going to do? Serialize memory addresses? Fucking slap.
It's and then at a certain point you basically have to be like, well, this is the data I need, and then you're like, well, then you just serialize that data because that's what you
exactly.
really
want. That's it. Oh yeah. Ah, shit. I had other shit too that I wanted to mention too. Actually, no, so did you. I was actually just thinking, do we want to like rush through shit and get it before before close down?
We probably do. Yeah. So if you've got something, hit it quickly. Though we don't have much news this week, so.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm only just reading it off Slashdot. I mean, my confidential source. Anyway. It was just like a court ruling in the Netherlands about Samsung and updating the iOS, which I thought was quite poignant because like some like consumer association, like human rights people, whatever, took to Samsung to court to say, hey man, you're going to putting out these phones, you should at least maintain the fucking software for like 4 years, something reasonable. And the judge has said, nah, get fucked. Samsung doesn't have to do that because it would be inadmissible because it related to future acts, which in quotes, which I assume means you can't make someone do something in the future or something like that. I don't know exact details, but the point of the whole situation is Samsung can put out a phone and support it for like 6 months and then not bother putting out any more updates, and you can just get fucked.
Yeah, it's pretty bullshit. I would love to see that changed, but so my reading of that, because I just read it briefly, was that it's like some kind of like legal thing rather than a moral thing. Because the judge, I think, is in the thing said Samsung should be supporting their devices for longer, but they also said, look, in terms of this court case, no, we can't do this. So maybe it requires like a government legislature to make a law on it rather than a judge to make a judgment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really know enough about law, but I would love to see a law that they have to support their devices. They said reasonable as well. So it was 4 years from when they make the device. Or
it's an interesting precedent, isn't it? Like actually, because the way I've always thought about this, man, is like you buy a TV, right? This is before smart TVs and shit. You buy a smart TV. If it doesn't do something or if it doesn't work, you take the fucking thing back. But I mean, why is it that just because the machine involves programmed instructions, that's somehow an excuse for your product to not work completely fucking perfectly? You
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
know what I mean? I mean,
It's a
I
bit
know that
weird.
we have all sorts of reasons, but still, if you're going to sell something to somebody that's
That
supposed
thing
to
happened
work,
again.
and it makes me think about like how you've got all these user agreements and shit. And I think it was like EEV blog posted a Netflix end user agreement that was like 39 pages long or something like that. Yeah, that you had to read on your TV.
Yeah, they are pretty long. He can't hear me, but I
Oh
agree with
shit!
him that
I
they
think
often get
got
long.
cut again.
So we'll just recall and be back soon. In the meantime, I don't know if we've got much more news to cover. One thing I did want to mention was that the FBI put out a statement about router malware. So this was meant to be, I haven't actually read an analysis personally, but meant to be quite sophisticated, like really well done. There were jokes on Twitter about how some contractor was just meant to do his job making a shitty little thing, but he actually made it really good. Um, but it's non-persistent, so if you just restart your router, it'll clear the malware, which I think is kind of funny. Okay, he should be back any second now. Okay, Mr. Pepe, are you here? Yep. Oh, I can't hear you this time. One second. Let me just see if I can fix that. Da, da, da. Okay.
Hangouts caught me mid rant. It didn't agree with my rant.
We could still hear your rant, so we all heard it. So
Oh.
it's good. Yeah, it's weird. All it does.
It's the 300 UCS23s again.
Oh, weird.
Okay. Oh no, it's better again now. There we go.
Okay. Good. Hopefully this lasts until the end of the thing. Okay. Have we got any other news we want to cover before we
Yes.
head off?
You do. My only next thing was how to shift gears in a truck, which is kind of related to buses, but not really. You had the bad BIOS thing.
Oh yeah. So I thought this was kind of interesting. Hopefully
Give you the link.
Yeah, I remember the link. So this is Dragos. He was the bad BIOS guy, and he was like, I found bad BIOS, and I'm being malwared and C2C and stuff. Now he has gone on Twitter, and he had a Raspberry Pi 3 shipped to him. And I don't mean to pick on the guy, but I'm more bringing this up as an example of like security people being fallible and whatnot. He was like, oh, I've been like implanted because this Raspberry Pi 3, the Ethernet Ethernet chipset rather, has more than 8 pins. And everyone was just like, no, dude, that's like the standard Ethernet module. That is 100% fine. And so he like went and decapped it and did things like, he was like, oh, it has epoxy on it, therefore it's vulnerable. Therefore it's like implanted. And then eventually he like booted up the Raspberry Pi 3 and was like, look at all these mounted file systems. This is clearly a fucking rootkit. And if you look at the file systems, it's like C groups and a few other things that like come with modern Linux. I just thought it was really interesting to see. We saw it with bad BIOS as well, but to see someone who is a reputable researcher just be so wrong on so many counts.
Yeah, like when but before the show started, 23 was like showing me this, and I was just sort of like following through, and I was actually a little bit confused because I was like waiting for the gag.
Yeah,
I was waiting for the bit,
the big reveal. Yeah,
but nothing came. It was just like what?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just someone who like just completely misunderstands so many different things, and they've got a narrative in their head, right? That like I am being implanted.
Yeah, this is just like a YouTube thing I saw last night when a guy was trying to convince people that light could be black. And he was like, and he had like a big white screen, and he had his phone with like white, just like a torch app or whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, see, this is white, and then he turns on a screen behind it, and then the retina of the camera adjusts, and the phone just looks like black. And he's like, see, it's black. And he starts going on about paints and stuff, right? And he's like has some little like theory, whatever that he puts out, and then he goes, see, but the thing is like if I get red paint, green paint, and blue paint, and if I mix them together, it makes black, and I'm like, this is just like such a fucking fundamental misunderstanding of what light is. It's like you can't just say. I'm like, and some people just have like I don't know. What am I getting at here? Just bad science.
Yeah, when someone has something in their head and they like pursue it at all costs. Like it doesn't matter what anyone says. They're just like, this is the way it is, and meh. So it's a bit weird.
And it's funny because it's not always malicious, hey. And that's
No, it's like a lot of these people, you wouldn't say they're bad people. They're just like something's not
Malfunctioning.
right at that point in time. Yeah. Okay. I think we are about. Oh my God! Look, police! Whoa! What's going on here?
Shit.
What's he up to?
Oh,
Is
shit.
okay, he's goosing. He's goosing, but there's so many turners that he like can't
Oh.
get around.
We got lights.
Yeah, man.
What's going on?
His lights have turned off. Okay, so he's stopping just outside the McDonald's. Wait, is someone getting in the police car? Oh wow, okay.
Oh,
That's
my God.
weird. Someone just got in the police car. Like someone just opened the door and got in like a passenger. And now the police car's going off again. Huh. That is weird. I wonder if he's just giving a mate a ride or something.
Hey, just before I go, have you ever thought that like buses look like big packets of chewing gum? Like all the yellow ones, they look like juicy fruit.
The color scheme, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and just the general shape of it, yeah.
I feel like the proportions aren't super. Like if you think about juicy fruit, it's like not quite the right proportions. But I see where you're coming from, yeah.
Yeah. I saw a grey one go past a yellow one the other day, and it was like mint going past juicy fruit.
Okay, it was wonderful to have you on, Pepe.
Oh,
and
for
anyone,
it was an honor and a privilege. This is an awesome show, and I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah. I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen Pepe's World, it's one of those things you watch it and you're like, what the fuck is this? This is ridiculous. And then you watch it and you get to the end and you're like, huh, I actually learned a bunch about electronics. It's really good. Like I don't do a lot of electronics, and I got to the end and I was like, oh, wow, I know a lot more now. Like they're really good. So if anyone else hasn't heard them, you'll be at KiwiCon or something as well, so we can.
Yes, that's right. I was going to give a link, but I can't find it because, like, I'm actually like not that high up in the search results. I was like trying to read all these search terms, like the shit I've done. It's like nothing's coming up. Hey,
yeah. It's like when I search for the bus factor and I don't get the podcast. Podcast just doesn't come up. It's like, oh, okay. Before we go, I would like to thank our Patreons, one of whom gets their name mentioned, Black Flag Security. The rest of you are not paying enough. If you want to support the show and give us a camera so that we don't have to deal with this horrible camera situation anymore, that would be much appreciated. Next week, we don't have a guest lined up. Now, we were going to have Michael last week, but that didn't end up happening because I was sick, unfortunately. So next week, we'll see. Pepe, would you like to come on again? Because he was away for like a few months. Would you be okay with coming on again?
Well, if the listeners will have me,
there we are.
What do you say, listeners? Do you think I should come back?
Well, the listeners who have a microphone may feel that way. We'll figure out who's going to be on next week anyway, and I'll tweet out. Once again, good to have you here, and
Awesome.
we'll see you next week. Catch you later.
Awesome.